Yeah, we'd get through. I mean, obviously we've got to name the side tonight, and Matt White at this stage will be named in the side.
Aaron Young as well?
No, Youngie will sit back and probably. I think our numbers will be okay, and that he'll probably miss, but he'll travel with us at this stage.
It's not like the run that he gives. How much did you miss over the last 2 weeks?
Oh, you always miss someone who brings that type of, run to the team. He's pretty important for us. He's had a really good year for us in his first year at the club, so I suppose we certainly did miss him.
When you say Young will miss, does that mean he'll just travel and not play anywhere, or could he play in the
No, he'll play in the SANFL. He'll play for the Magpies on Sunday, which is an ideal opportunity. When it works out this way, it's good for us because we can take emergencies as well and then have them back and play on the Sunday. So our emergencies will fly back on Saturday afternoon to be ready to play Sunday.
Obviously, can a win is paramount, but what do you want to see from the players? It looked like you took a few steps forward after the Sydney match.
Yeah, I'd like to see us build a little bit on that, and that wasn't, as we always say, the scoreboard's the end result. It's a product of what you bring to the table, and hopefully we can build in the areas that we build in against Sydney. And I think we've probably been starting to build back over the last 2 or 3 weeks, so hopefully we can bring that back. And it's identifiable pretty easily. I think it's the contested possessions part of the game that we need to get right, and and our energy to defend and put the opposition under pressure.
You talk about building back and rebuilding. How close are you think to getting back to the point you were sort of before the form?
I suppose the results would say we're a little bit away from that still at the moment. There's no doubt about that. But we need to believe in what we do, and we know that when we bring the right levels to all parts of our game, that we can get back to that type of form pretty quickly.
But from what you see internally and attitudes and that sort of stuff, they look like they're nearly there.
Yeah, they've been really good right through. I've got to say, it's not been an issue for me internally that the boys have in any way lost their willingness to participate in the game that we need to the way we want to. But obviously some of our performance would suggest that we haven't been able to get that done for 4 quarters, I think.
No other questions over players at all, Westhoff and everyone else?
No, they'll be all okay. No, at this stage, unless, we have had a couple of illnesses go around in the last few weeks, but unless something else happens, we should be okay. We'll actually have bar our 4 long-termers, we'll have our full squad available for this weekend.
So all the illnesses disappeared. Is there any signs still lingering among players, or is it gone?
Well, it's difficult because at this time of the year, a sniffle is not unusual. So that to have some people with it that are not feeling it 100% well at this time of year is not unusual. At the moment, we're okay. So we expect that to be the case.
This is the best side you've had in the park, given the fact that White will play for some time. Is that the way you look at it as well?
Well, I want to say it's the fullest personnel list that we've had to pick from. Which allows us, you would suggest on that, allows us to pick close to our best team, but that doesn't always mean you've got players in their best form either. So our personnel's at its best to pick from, considering we've got 4 long-term injury players, and we won't have them back, but other than that, we've got them all available.
What's your review? You mentioned contested ball and whatever before, but obviously they were very good last week. You won contested footy by 15 and you won clearances also against Sydney. What is your review showing during the week? After the game you commented about missed opportunities. Is that the big issue that's come up from that game, or what have you worked on?
Yeah, those crucial moments I talked about after the game. I talked about the 10 crucial moments in games, or whatever that number might be, that we just didn't win enough of those crucial moments in the Sydney game. We done some a lot of things right in that game, but there were some moments that we just didn't get quite right, and we just need to make sure that in those moments we make them really count.
Is there a way you can sort of fix that other than living through it and experience?
Yeah, a bit of experience, I think, as much as anything. You get to, you see the sides that are sitting on the top 4 sides on the table. They're really experienced sides at the moment, and we're next. So we're hopeful that with some experience, we don't want to wait for all that to come. We're just going to keep pushing and charging as hard and fast as we possibly can to get with those clubs. But we still know that we're making mistakes that we don't want to make.
Do you feel like you're getting enough from your forward line at the moment, or is the service not good enough?
I think it's a combination. I think the forward line scoring certainly dried up, but some of the things that bring that together are, one, we haven't been able to give them as much opportunity, and the good opportunities. There's a difference between good entries and bad entries, and there's also a difference between the ball movement that we've been able to give them. So some of that stuff's been a little bit of telling factor. There's been some individual form that's been a little bit down. There's no doubt about that, and most importantly, conversion. If you look at our conversion, it's dropped right off.
Ken Tretter's wrote a column today saying that Port Adelaide tries to play dry weather football even when it's wet. Given the fact the conditions are going to be wet, in the Gold Coast this weekend. Is it an issue for Port? Do you try to maybe overpossess the footy when it's wet, or you don't see that being an issue?
No, that's a personal perception of Warren's, which is one I don't share. I think we do adjust, so I don't have a problem with that.
Will you be issuing any directive in regards to footwear, given the weather forecast?
No, we're always we're very mindful of what we should and shouldn't have on our feet for every game, so that would be no different. I mean, clearly, if the conditions are as forecast, we would be crazy not to have the right footwear on.
If you look at all the figures and it says you're out of form, the difference from the beginning of the year, though, in terms of contested possession and the stats that are starting to improve, does that make it all just a mental game? That the players have to get that experience of finding out what it's like to get through a hard season? Yeah,
I reckon you're right. I think that's pretty close. I mean, a lot of questions I was getting asked at a time when we were in pretty strong form or winning lots of games of football was, we're at this stage now, you should be really confident about what you can do. Well, it's a 22-week or 22-round season or 22 games you have to play. That's what I kept saying at the time. Don't worry about where you are now or tomorrow, or worry about where you are at the end of 23 rounds. And that's the same today as I sit here. We've got 3 more rounds to go, and at the end of those 3 rounds, we have to reassess where we got to. And were we able to perform the way we wanted to for all of those 23 rounds? I don't think any side does, but it's how big a block you fall away from.
What difference have you seen with the players' ability to handle the season mentally compared to last year?
Look, they've been really good. I think that, as I said, the attitude internally has been really good. The way they've gone about their work, the way they've trained. At no stage have I felt like we've dropped off in any of those areas of the game. I think we've just haven't been able to perform to the levels that we want. One, you have to consider the opposition. They've been able to, and people have been able to write that the opposition have slowed us down a little bit. There's no doubt about that. But we believe internally that we've slowed ourselves down as much as the Oppo have slowed us down. So we've got to, and I'm not going to talk about what they are, but we know that we've slowed ourselves up a bit.
But is that different to last year? I mean, do you sort of notice the difference?
I think we're in much better position. There's no doubt we're a much improved football club from where we were this time last year. The numbers tell us that, the position on the ladder tell us that right now, and all those things add up. We're in better position. You're always mindful about losing margins and talking about it because it sounds like an excuse, but we've actually lost 4 close games this year. We won 1. So, last year we won, I think, 5 close games. So it's a really small margin that we're dealing with, and, that's the facts.
What do you mean you slowed yourselves down?
That's why I said I'm not going to talk about that part.
Can you give us any, trying to work out what you mean at all on that?
I just don't think we're playing exactly the way we want to play. In other areas, not people want to look at. They purely want to look at ball movement and say, "Oh, you're not doing what you should be doing, or you're not playing the way you were playing." There's other areas that affect that, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Is that we just need to make sure we're mindful of all areas that make us a good team, not just what it looks like outside.
And you can fix that over the next 3 weeks and heading into the finals?
I think we've been working towards getting that back on track over the last 3 to 4 weeks, to be honest. And we acknowledge the opposition are doing some stuff that are making it harder, but we also acknowledge that we're not doing what we need to do to make that a bit easier on ourselves.
Okay, your future, you've done a great job, obviously. A year to go on your contract. Are you in for the long haul? Would you like to stay here for
2 years to go.
2 years to go, have you, after this year?
Yep.
Okay. So there's no talk about you having to be recontracted, or have you started?
No, I haven't had any of those conversations. So you get what you deserve, don't you?
Would you like to you've got 2 years left, obviously, but would you like to sign away, or are you happy to let that float until the off season or next year? Or
look, a bit like the games, I'm here to work for now, and I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure Port Adelaide are as good as we possibly can be. And at the end of that time, I'm sure what will be will be.
You haven't started any talks at this stage?
No, we haven't. No. If that's the question, are we talking about my contract? No, we're not.
Okay. I just want to know, because you're building the team for the future, you've got a lot of players tucked away.
Yeah, no, I've got 2 more years to go. I think that's the key thing. There's still time to go. If the club comes to me and says, are you excited about being here and wanting to continue to work with this football team, my short answer will be an absolute yes.
Has it been, you're a elected coach originally, Cindy, have you really enjoyed it? I mean, you've done a great job. Have you really enjoyed the ride and what you've managed to get out of the club and the group? Yeah,
I've loved my time at Port Adelaide. There's no doubt it's been everything I hoped it would be, and right now I've still got a lot more work to do to get where we want to be.
How much are you learning on the job, do you feel?
Hopefully every day, like the players are. That's the first question I ask them at the end of every game is, what did we learn today? And I ask myself the same question. What have I learned in my time? And I know I've learnt lots already in that period of time.
What do you make of Gold Coast? They've got no Ablett and May as well. Is that sort of getting them while they're on a low point
I think 7 out of 9 at Metricon they've won. You know, we're playing them at Metricon, we're playing them on their turf. They're, you know, Gary's a significant loss, but we've dealt with significant losses through the year, and every side has to, and you know, that's just the way it goes. You play what's there, and I'm sure they won't be thinking for one moment that they're not right in this game to win it, and I'm thinking not for one moment this is not going to need our best effort.
How's Jared Pollock travelling at the moment? He seems that he missed training yesterday.
Yeah, no, he's okay. He was out here training this morning. I don't know whether you got a glimpse of him, but he was here today doing what he needs to do. But no, he just easier day yesterday. You know, his form was much stronger again last week. We're pretty confident that he's back in some really good form.
Is top 4 a significant advantage, and is that something you're striving to get to?
It's an absolute significant advantage. You know, it's the top 4 sides are the sides that the premiership side comes out of. And if you look at the numbers, I think it might have been Adelaide, was it? The last side that come from outside the top 4, and that's 97, 98. So in 16 years, no one's come from there. So it's a significant advantage.
So with 3 games to go, you've got to win all 3, I think, to get that spot.
Yeah, I don't want to be silly, but with round 21, we've just got to win round 21. You know, if you're going to predict what's going to happen, I think as tipsters, you all probably have a crack at that at some stage. It's a very hard season to try and get it right. So who knows what's going to happen? All we can do is control what we've got to do. But the aim is to get as many wins as we possibly can in the next 3 weeks to give us the best chance at the end of the year.